The charges against Diddy do not appear to be slowing down anytime soon. Candace Owens, an American critic and author, is the latest to publish her own stories about the bad boy mogul. For starters, she appears to believe that Diddy's ability to get away with so many crimes over the years is due to his cooperation with the FBI. In a tweet, she discussed how many branded Kanye an idiot when he attempted to out Diddy, but he was correct all along.
But as far as Meek Mills, Puff Daddy, whoever, none of these niggas, all you fake hard niggas, you.
Wait,
hold on.
Okay.
All you fake hard niggas, you. You know what I'm saying? I don't give because you can't shoot nobody anyway, and the reason why you got to talk is because you did a deal, you fed. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to come at me, because part of the deal for you to be able to do all that and get out of jail is that you promise that you're going to go pull my co-car. So y'all niggas shut the up about me. Now let me say it calm. You niggas shut the up about, you shut the about Michael.
Right.
Appears to believe that Diddy's ability to get away with so many crimes over the years is due to his cooperation with the FBI. In a tweet, she discussed how many branded Kanye an idiot when he attempted to out Diddy, but he was correct all along.
Looks like Kanye West just leaked some of his text messages from Diddy. This is getting interesting.
For those who don't know, Owens was referring to Diddy's exposure on an episode of Drink Champs a few years back, but the footage was mysteriously wiped a few days later. Kanye later posted screenshots of a discussion he had with Diddy, in which he accused Diddy of being an FBI informant to hide his own dirty secrets. Thus, Candace is publicly stating that she believes what Kanye said.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Not only that, but Kanye has started named a few celebs who have helped him with his unlawful deals, and man, the lineup is insane.
They ain't giving us money, they giving us acknowledgement. I don't want your acknowledgement. And I went so far past any level of acknowledgement. I was banished, I was exiled, I was canceled multiple times. So what, I done had like my kids that show up to Sunday service right in front of everybody. And you know what I mean? Like I'm crying to see my daughter, and all of the usual suspects, the handlers, Dave Chappelle, Meek Mills, Diddy, all these people aren't in position. Now for us as celebrities, they gotta call and put a leash on them. What we gonna do with Ye? Oh, he delusional, that's the best. Dave, give him a call. Diddy, give him a call. Tell him we ain't like the t-shirt. Tell him like right now the agenda is, this is the voting agenda for the celebrities, for the black. Make them do exactly what LeBron would do. Make them do exactly what Drake would do. And y'all know my stance on this.
You know, since Kanye has never been afraid to call people out for their dirty crimes, it makes sense that he was exiled from the entertainment industry by those in power who portrayed him as an idiot who would say anything for attention. But everything Kanye has said in the past seems to make a lot of sense now, doesn't it?
It's the lawsuit that we have been covering and following, so much being revealed, you're not going to believe that somehow it is connected to Michael Jackson and his death. And I gotta be honest, I'm kind of terrified. I think this is gonna be the last day that I cover it. I thought that we were in full conspiracy theory territory when people were saying that Michael Jackson was killed. I actually know a lot of people that are in the industry who believe that Michael Jackson was killed, and I just thought, it just sounds too whacked out to believe that somebody intentionally killed Michael Jackson. Now, I want to remind you, before we get back into Michael Jackson, what we learned in the Diddy document. If you read through them, again, these are all allegations, but you will come out of it understanding that there is allegedly some sort of a blackmail ring that is operating throughout Hollywood, and that artists that are producing music are actually being controlled via being induced into drugs at parties, and then what takes place is they're being recorded, and sometimes they're being recorded while they are committing sexual acts with minors. And something that we also saw in these docs is that these parties, at least a lot of them, are taking place in the Virgin Islands, which again just makes you go, what's happening here? Because Jeffrey Epstein, obviously his home, or he owned an island that was just off the coast of St. Thomas. So we hear that again. And I'd say the biggest point that we took away from these Diddy docs was that this ring, if you believe it exists, can and will murder people to protect themselves. And he intimated this event that happened allegedly at a recording studio where Diddy and his son allegedly shot someone, and it was covered up by the LAPD and then the media. Within those docs, and this is where it gets relevant, there is one man that is named as being the person that can do the cleanup. So in these docs, it says, Mr. Combs instructs his staff to always contact Mr. Muhammad, that is Fahim Muhammad, if they are ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. Diddy and his son shot someone. And after that shooting, the documents say explicitly that Mr. Muhammad spoke with the LAPD after G was shot at the recording studio. The LAPD was in the recording studio and witnessed the blood in the restroom, and they went with the bogus claim that the shooting of G occurred outside of the studio. This was all thanks to Mr. Muhammad's connections within law enforcement, allegedly. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The cleanup guy, Mr. Fahim Muhammad, was also on the scene when Michael Jackson died. So I want to introduce you to and allow you to listen to Ian Carroll. He's an independent journalist that is investigating everything that is going on, and he explains that connection.
So this new lawsuit just came out that shows tons of evidence that P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, has been running a sexual blackmail operation very much like Jeffrey Epstein, but in the rap and music industry for basically 30 years. And in that lawsuit, we learned that his head of security while he's running the sexual blackmail ring is this guy named Fahim Muhammad, who before working for Diddy was the head of security for Michael Jackson when he was only 21. And he was one of the first people on the scene when Michael Jackson died. And before we go to Michael Jackson, the most important part of the Diddy case to bring across is the fact that the record executives at the very top knew what P. Diddy was doing. They were attending the parties with underage girls where they were spiking drinks. They were deeply involved in Diddy's personal life, and all evidence points to them supporting his operation.
Owens has already expressed her thoughts regarding Michael Jackson's unexpected death. And let's just say that Diddy has a few murder accusations, so this isn't surprising. Owens claims that the man who reportedly covered up Diddy's kid shooting someone was Michael Jackson's head of security and was present when the king of Puff Diddy.
To tell the masses that Michael Jackson was a raging anti-Semite. It is a fact, by the way, that Michael Jackson did keep a list of people in the industry that he said were his enemies, okay? On that list were people that all happened to be Jewish. So it was lawyer Gloria Allred, music exec Tommy Mottola, Rabbi Shmuley Boteach, you may have heard of him, and I'm going to mention him later, Israeli illusionist Uri Geller, and also Michael Jackson's former manager, Dieter Wiesner. Now, to be clear, it was Dieter himself that revealed that Michael Jackson had this list, but he says that Michael Jackson was just paranoid, that Michael Jackson thought that these industry people were all colluding to try to ruin his life and to take over his life. And again, that was just Michael Jackson.
Not only that, but Owens disclosed that Michael had a list of his adversaries on paper and believed that a group of businessmen intended to dominate him and take over his life. Could Diddy be one of them?
Partying together. So in the authorities' mind, they feel like Puff knew what Meech was doing. Then with the introduction to Jacob and different people, and a lot of people going to jail for money laundering and stuff like that, Puff being, and this is documented, Puff being a CI for an FBI agent. I said this years ago, that Kim and Kirk Burrows took some paperwork. They was taking some papers up to the FBI, so like when they was here in New York. They was taking paperwork up there and stuff like that. Don't know what it was, but later on found out that he was a CI. You understand? Now, what happens? He don't have that. The guy probably, that was 20, 30 years, 20 some years ago. The guy probably retired. Puff ain't dealing with him, no, he didn't pass Puff on or something like that. So now, Puff been dodging the legal system. With the, people had it wrong. They think it was with the Black Mafia family. No, it was with Butt Naked. I said this years ago. The person that he said is his senior advisor, Corey Jacobs. Corey had 9 16-to-life sentences for drug trafficking. You make him your senior advisor, even though that was your man, he coming home. That's your man, pots and pans. But Whoop was the one who took care of them when they was away. You understand? Whoop was the one who took care of them. So now, you got all these, these characters, around you. what they gonna think when they come to your house.
All of this talk has rekindled discussions about Diddy's similarities to Jeffrey Epstein, including child trafficking and taping tapes of people to deliver to the FBI. Diddy's current duty, like Epstein's, has been to gather evidence against influential figures in the business in order to conceal his own criminality.
Diddy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crazy things that's going on with this story, Diddy, right? I mean, a lot of people are calling him the Epstein of the music, the Hollywood world.
Every room in Diddy's mansions were wired with cameras. And he had some of the footage, he had some of the pictures, and he displayed those in the lawsuit that came out. And this was used for blackmail material. They'd bring in these people. A lot of these people were also aspiring young artists in the music industry. And then these parties were sponsored by Motown Records CEO, Universal Records CEO. This goes all the way to the top. And so you get these people in compromising situations. The drinks were laced. The videotapes were hot. And then at the end of the day, you wake up the next morning, what did I do? And then they have compromising material on you. And then they can guide your career. They could kill your career, but they got you. And it wasn't just people in the music business. As you said, there were athletes, there were celebrities, there were politicians, people from the royal family. And we were also told by the former bodyguard that Diddy was an FBI informant. So he was a snitch and was feeding information to the feds. And we don't know what that means.
It has been said by even Suge Knight that Diddy worked with the FBI because he knew things. If the police suddenly decide to turn on him, the Deedler will have a lot of enemies waiting for him in jail.
Did you, Diddy, and Kat ever hang out where, and the reason why I'm asking this, where you actually personally witnessed some of the accusations that Diddy is having, saying the fact that he had cameras in the room?
Well, that's the thing I'm going to tell you. We from two different worlds, number one, him and I. Number two, I'm the guy that didn't want to invite to those parties. And I'm glad of it. I've never been happy to be left out of my life. But at the same time, I'm not the guy who's here for Puffy's downfall, but I am the guy who supports the victims who got victimized, right? But at the same time, whatever the situation is, everybody knows it's wrong. And I don't think you can get punished as hard as the regular person because, you know, he used to be an FBI informant for a long time, they say. So I'm quite sure that played a role.
You're saying...
To answer the question, me, Cat, and Puffy, we had no reason to be hanging out. Me and Cat and not me and Puffy.
Got it. So you're saying Diddy's an FBI informant and he's been one for many years?
How would they say? Nothing never happens, but it's still, like I said, agent. It ain't my business. Well, I said that because anybody else gaffled up quick, fast, in a hurry. But, you know, the most important thing about this is that with me, you got some people will have a opinion on something either they weren't a part of or they wasn't there. And I never want to be that type of person.
I don't believe that. What do you know? TMZ shared a picture of him talking to the police right after the raids. His drug mule, Brennan Paul, was the one who arrested him. Why wouldn't the FBI just arrest Diddy if they got their hands on him? Unless you know for sure that he knew about the whole thing.
Kendrick Lamar and Drake have been trading jabs all weekend. It's set the internet ablaze because there have been claims of pedophilia, there have been claims of domestic violence, of hidden children.
It's God's side and the other side, and we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
There's more than just Diddy involved here. Remember when Cat Williams said that everyone's sins would be found out in 2024? Well, after Diddy, it looks like Drake's next in line to be exposed for his inappropriate behavior with the minors, not to mention the entire situation with Diddy's hotel surveillance footage being leaked too, proving that every single word Cassie alleged in her now-said lawsuit was true. But guess what Diddy might not even get arrested for?
If you've seen that horrific video, surveillance footage of Diddy punching, kicking, throwing things at Cassie and attacking her repeatedly, and you are asking yourself, after watching that hotel surveillance footage from 2016, why had it not come out until now? According to Cassie, the victim in that footage, in the lawsuit that she filed last year against Diddy, she claims that Diddy paid the hotel to get that footage, gave them $50,000, and problem solved. He was in possession of that footage. What I believe happened is, in the recent raid of Diddy's multiple properties, the government came into possession of that, and the government, somebody there leaked it because Team Diddy had that until now, paid $50,000 for it, and everybody at that hotel in Los Angeles responsible for this should be held criminally responsible, because if they saw an act of violence, a crime being committed, they had an obligation to report that, and they didn't. Shame on them. Shame on them.
Blogger Perez Hilton says that Diddy paid the hotel $50,000 not to release the video of him abusing Cassie that has since come to light. If he can pay that much to keep a video secret for so long, just think of what else he might be concealing.
I want to bring in Myla Morales. She's a former makeup artist for Diddy and also Cassie Ventura, working for Diddy for years and eventually becoming a friend of Cassie's. In 2010, Myla alleges that she heard Cassie being physically abused and was a witness to the aftermath of the alleged attack. She joins me now. Myla, thank you so much for being here. This has been, for so many people, illuminating, infuriating, troubling, devastating. You can go down the list of things, but it's so difficult to speak about.
I know.
Being a witness of anything. Tell me how you must be feeling just knowing that this has even come to light.
Well, I have kept this secret for like 14 years. I mean, the first time I experienced it was 2010, and I was in the hotel room when Puff came in, and I had no idea Cassie left. And when I woke up, I just saw his presence come into the room. They went into the bedroom and shut the door, and all I could hear is screaming and yelling and whatever was going on in there, I don't know. But all I could think of was to grab Cassie's things and start packing it up and just getting her out to safety and bringing her to my house. So that's kind of like what transpired from that night. And once she came out of the room, she was badly, beaten.
Oh my God, what did her physical appearance look like?
I mean, it was knots on her head, black eye, busted lip, but a lot of knots all over her head.
Did she go to the police at that point or anything?
No, we didn't know what to do at that point because, Puffy is a very powerful person and we were quite terrified. So I just, brought her to my house, and my friend who is a doctor, I called her, and thank God she was in town because we didn't know what to do. And she treated her for, just to make sure she didn't have a concussion or anything like that. But it was really it was painful to see Cassie like that because she's such a beautiful human being, and for a man to just hurt any sort of woman or child or animal, it doesn't matter. But Cass is a good friend of mine, and I just felt, I just didn't know what to do. I felt like, I don't even know how to describe how I felt that night.
Cassie's 35-page lawsuit describing every form of abuse suffered from Diddy was not enough. Now she's ready to risk it all to reveal Diddy's darkest secrets.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you gotta do that. I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.